Hello guys, so I'm just winding the watch up. I'm trying a different approach to today's video. I'm going to try and not even edit it very much because I want to just let you know that this watch from Citizen, the Tsuyosa, the 37mm, this is deemed a limited edition, why I think you should buy one and why I think it's one of the best watches you can get in the entire world for £300. I know that sounds a bit like hyperbole, but it's not, because I bought this with my own money and I've seen a lot of watches over my many years reviewing watches. So let you know why overall I actually think this is the case, because it is rather good. Without further ado, let's have a closer look, shall we? So yeah, I bought this it's over a month ago now. I spent £299. It's still that much online. I bought it from Citizen UK. It was free delivery. Upon inspection, when I got out of the packaging, it was immaculate, no imperfections anywhere. I've never seen a Citizen with any quality control issues actually, and that's always a nice reassuring thing, because sometimes it can be a bit of a risk when you're buying an affordable watch, which this is. It could have a few issues, Seiko, but this isn't one of those watches. Now, if I had buckets of money, which I don't, I would have also bought the newer version of Seiko's SNXS. It's a mouthful, but I haven't, because I mainly want to talk about this one. If I had a bit more money, I'd do kind of a battle, but you know what? My gut's telling me, from experience, I think I would prefer the Citizen, even though I absolutely love Seiko. Now, why is that the case? Well, speaking of case, this is the 37mm case size, the unisex size. Now, I have a manly wrist of about 7¼ inches, which is actually completely normal, and it fits me beautifully. The thing about this size watch is 37mm is a bit deceptive. It's like square watches. I would say if you go down the road of going for one with an integrated bracelet, which of course this watch does, 37mm, because of the case design and the relative thickness of this watch being a bit of a chunker, all dimensions and spec etc is going to be the description, so I don't have to blather on about that. I've tried to memorize that as we go through, but what you're getting is something which is actually wearing a little bit bigger than its case specification would say. So that's the first thing I'd say. Don't be put off by this. And the reason why I think this is also going to beat that Seiko I was referring to is, for your average consumer, which I think these Tsuyosas are largely aimed at, you are spoilt for choice. This is a limited edition of 11T Bazillion. There's so many of them. There's not, jokes aside, it's about 8,000, so there's plenty out there. You can still get them today, really easy to get hold of. A month later, there's not been one of those hype products, so you can just go and get it. Really easy to buy. The other good news is if you want another colorway, which I would think you're still spoilt for choice, you can get pink, baby blue. There's like a dark blue, a dark green. Like I say, there's more choices, I would say, compared to your Seiko counterpart, if we're going to draw a comparison again. Then if you don't like the 37mm size, you can also get it in a 40, or you can also get it with a small seconds hand gear shade dials. They've just released one with the 40mm case size that's got the slightly better movement, which is 60-hour power reserve. This has about your 40 odd. So if you really value power reserves and a upgraded movement, you can get one now, and that's over £400. So not quite the value for money proposition like this 37 one, because this was only £299, and I've seen these 37mm ones for as low as £200. So great value for money. And talking about great value for money, that's what Citizen are well known for. Now, this has been inspired, there's pretty much a reissue of a watch called the NH299 from the late 90s, early 2000s. And that was kind of a popular watch because it was an affordable watch that had a solid stainless steel case. Now, here we are 25 years later, you'd say who cares? But back in that era, affordable watches were normally brass cases with a chrome plating. That was really to keep the costs down. But things have moved on since then, and now, for your money, modern day equivalent pricing is about the same. You're getting solid stainless steel case, and also with all of these, sapphire crystal. The movement has hacking and hand winding, so that's fantastic. Only negative is this little tiny crown. It's a bit fiddly to, shut up dog. Little tricky to manual wind with your little tiny fingers, you've got to pinch it a bit, but you know what? I don't mind that, because I love the aesthetic and how it just looks unique and different. It's got that retro vibe to it. Looks like it's from the 70s, but this is paying homage to a watch which was around in the late 90s, which I think that one was paying tribute to watches from that era where integrated bracelets were very popular. AP Royal Oak, for example, and the Patek Philippe Nautilus, there are loads of Seikos and Rolex, there's the Oyster Quartz and things like that. There was a bit of an era where they were very popular, and that's come back again. I'm talking about Swiss integrated bracelet watches. This wipes the floor, in my opinion, with the Tissot PRX. They do, yes, loads of colorways. They do automatic versions, they do quartz versions, different sizes, all that stuff. Having owned one or two of those, I would say I prefer this, because I just think you've got a bit more flexibility in how it wears. You've got that lighter and thinner clasp. You don't have a butterfly clasp, so you can get some kind of adjustment on here. There's 3 micro adjust holes. So I've got this to fit me so comfortably. The finishing on the bracelet is very good. The overall finishing on the entire watch is basic but fantastic. It's smooth, there's no rough bits, no poor finishing anywhere. Smooth enough polishing, very smooth enough brushing. But the thing that is really going to be me talking a bit more detail is that dial. That's what makes this limited edition so special to me, is the fact it's got a dial which just blows your mind. And what do I mean by blowing mind is it's just confusing. In different lights it looks completely different. In some lights it looks just completely grey and you can't see any of the gold lettering. In other lights it looks a lot more black. You can see the gold very easily. And in other lights it sparkles and it even glistens. It is incredible to get that kind of play with light and mind-trippy kind of effect on a watch which is only £300. And I like the fact that on the new version, which is the 60 version, it's got the Jubilee butterfly bracelet and things like that, and some new nice colorways. They've got guilloche dials. They're really taking it up a notch, because Citizen used to be deemed a little bit boring and a bit safe. But they are really upping their game, because this little watch with black and gold and that smoky grey finish, I think this is a go anywhere, do anything watch within reason. I think 50 meters water resistance is a slight worry. I would like to go in the sea with this. If I'm going to wear it here, there and everywhere, it'd be nice to go, you know what, there's no risk, but I think with a bit of light splashing around, a bit of frolicking, you should be all right. Other than that, a few other criticisms. Say, I'm not a massive fan of Cyclopses, but this is small and it lines up, and it's also Sapphire. That's cool. I'd say it's a bit chunky for its actual case dimensions. It wears a little bit taller on the wrist. Tiny bit top heavy for a small watch, but I can live with that. I like it if the modding scene got involved and made a thinner case back that wasn't exhibition. There's plenty of opportunity to do that. But I do actually quite looking at the gold movement, and it especially complements this watch with the gold details on the hands and the indices. The loom is definitely acceptable. Citizen are pretty good with their loom. I'd say it's decent enough. And this is running perfectly acceptably, well within the tolerances that they state. I put it on my time grapher at work. It's running very nicely. So I know I've got a reliable, well-made, accurate watch that looks really good, goes with anything, could do with a bit more water resistance. And it's literally a grab and go thing. And there's not much really I would change about this watch that's going to be a deal breaker to maybe put you off as well. I think the positioning of the Citizen logo and the word automatic are a bit too high and low on the dial. I think this colorway, the logo and the word automatic also look a bit lost. Wouldn't have minded a gold applied logo, but again, that could have impacted the price. But I think the price is the big game changer here. The limited edition, yeah, that's about £300. It'll probably go down when they realise they can't flog them all. But the fact you can get other ones for 200, that is a steal. Absolute steal for that price. You're getting such a fantastic watch for that money. And I've had this watch long enough and enjoyed it and find myself reaching for it when I've got lots of other things to choose from. But it's one of those watches which you really can just slap on and it goes with everything. It looks great and it's so light and comfortable. And that's why I think I've helped you out a bit here, guys, to say, give this one a go. Even though it's smaller, I think it wears beautifully on more wrists, and maybe you could get one for your missus as well, or your husband, whoever. I hope you like this very unscripted review, and if you do, please subscribe. Help this channel grow. I want to hit 20k by Christmas. That's just obviously a self-indulgent thing, but it's free for you to subscribe, and it means you don't miss out on any future content, which I hope won't be such a long gap from the last one. So I'm going to get cracking on my next few videos. So in the meantime, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, I'll put a link in the description to this watch and all the other spec details if you need those. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.